How about another house visit right here on Locked On Spurs with Dr. Ryan McCorkle to discuss De'Aaron Fox's surgery and what's going on with Charles Bassey.
You are Locked On Spurs, your daily San Antonio Spurs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome back to Locked On Spurs, another Locked On NBA Network. I'm your host, Jeff Garcia, Spurs writer for Kansas 5 San Antonio. Glad to have you all back. Hope you're having a great day. And as always, we thank you for making Locked On Spurs your first listen every single day. Free and available wherever you get podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, Kansas 5 Plus app. Check out the Locked On Spurs newsletter if you're watching on YouTube. It's in the description below. Click on that link. It says LO Spurs newsletter. Click on that. Completely free. Hit your email inbox every single day. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. What are we doing today? Well, you can see on your screen if you're watching on YouTube. We're going to have another visit by Dr. Ryan McCorkle. By now, De'Aaron Fox already had his injury to repair a pinky finger. But what exactly happened? What is it? What kind of procedure did he likely have? What does the rehab entail? Could this happen again? We'll get it all covered here on Locked On Spurs. And then also, what is up with Charles Bassey? We haven't seen him in quite a while there. We're going to read exactly what the Spurs are putting out there. Why is it taking forever for him to get back on the court? And if we got a little bit of time, we'll get his thoughts on Victor Wembanyama and his road to recovery from the thrombosis issue he is suffering. All right, it's going to bring him on. There he is. There's Dr. Ryan McCorkle. Welcome back, Doctor.
Good to be with you, Jeff. Thanks for having me.
Not a problem. Everybody, make sure you go to his Instagram page. It's at AustinEMDoc. He's with the Emergency and Backstage Medical. He's a physician for them, and he's also working with the Texas football, I should say, and Austin EFC. So he keeps everybody nice and healthy, whether it's concerts in Austin or on the field. Dr. Ryan McCorkle is there. Doctor, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How about you, Jeff?
Doing good. Just trying to get through this season, man. It's dragging now. It really is. It's just
True.
Yeah, it's just tough to get up for a team that, pretty much raised the white flag already on the season. No Wemby and no Fox. We'll get into that in a bit, but it's kind of tough. It's a long season when even Mitch Johnson says, "Yeah, it feels like a long season, Doctor."
Everybody's harkening back to when David Robinson got injured and we got Tim Duncan in the law pads.
Yeah.
For Cooper Flag.
Can you imagine Flag in San Antonio? Good Lord. Yeah. Well, maybe the basketball gods will smile on the San Antonio Spurs once again, crossing fingers. But hey, Doctor, the reason why you're here is to discuss the injury to De'Aaron Fox. Now, everybody, just before we get into it, the injury that he suffered, a pinky finger injury, happened when he was with the Kings during training camp. But he was able to manage to play through it up until recently with the Spurs. Said, you know what, let's just shut it down, get the surgery done, repair it, and we'll get ready for next season. So, Doctor, one thing you've taught us since your visits here is always read the injury report carefully. So we'll do that. So for De'Aaron Fox, the Spurs officially say it's the left fifth finger exterior tendon surgery. Doctor, in plain English, what is that?
It's extensor tendon injury, and what that is so this is flexion, this is extension.
Okay.
So it's one of the tendons that allowed you to extend the finger.
Mm-hmm.
Not as imperative or as big an involved procedure as the flexor tendons. Those are a lot more involved. The extensor tendons, that's why it happened back with the Kings, and they're letting it go. I don't know if you can see this. I'll have to get it on.
Yeah. Okay, closer. Yeah.
Give it.
Yeah.
There you go. So
Look at that.
that's my extensor tendon rupture.
Wow.
That happened probably 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But it still works fine.
Yeah.
That's why I don't want to be out of work for 6 weeks in a cast, not being able to intubate patients. So this is kind of an elective repair, especially on the fifth finger, because it still flexes. He's still able to grip the basketball, do all those things. So I think it is just what we talked about. We're getting to the end of the season. There's no real incentive to win games or to put more miles on De'Aaron Fox. So this was a nice time to kind of cosmetically fix that finger with the extensor tendon so it doesn't look funny. And then now he's out for the rest of the season. Something that would need to get done at some point. Might as well do it now and sit out the rest of the season.
Yeah, during it's funny. You're based out in Austin. Well, during the Austin games, after the Detroit game, he showed off the finger without the tape. Now, doctor, a couple things here. One, when he showed the fingers out the tape, he said it was just stuck like this. It was just stuck. That was the most he could move. He also taped it up. What is the reasoning behind Fox taping it up? Is that just a precautionary thing, or is that just kind of like I guess for lack of a better word, like a brace for him to move it around? Like, why would a player want to wrap it up if it's injured?
Well, because like you said, he can't extend past here. So once he flexed it, it'd be stuck there. And then you're trying to catch the ball that way. So you tape it to the other finger. So then it extends with the other finger. The other finger pulls it with it. So that gives you a functional hand. Otherwise, he's got it stuck there and you can't catch the ball or dribble or do anything else.
Yeah. Yeah. De'Aaron Fox did say that, without that tape, that it will always look like this. And he said whatever. And like he's messed around with it. He said he's tried to practice without it and that it just kept on banging the finger that was bent and he couldn't get around it. But Doc, it doesn't sound as if it was a painful injury because think about it. He played with it since his Sacramento time up until the trade and well into the later part of the season. So I am assuming it's something that doesn't cause an immense amount of pain.
No, it's a mechanical thing. So it feels like a jammed finger for a day or two, and then that tendon is pulled off the bone. So it just you no longer have the pulley there to do it. It doesn't hurt. It's just it won't do that.
Wow. It sounds painful, but like you said, and we all saw De'Aaron Fox was playing through it. Well, it's funny. I was able to catch up with him pre-surgery. We'll get to that in a few seconds here. And when I met up with him in person, as close as I am to my laptop right here, and I looked at his hand, it didn't look swollen. It didn't look purple. He wasn't wincing. He was actually playing video games with it. So again, that's just more proof that he was fine. It's not a painful injury there. He said it's just a rupture. He did say, though, he was nervous, though. He said he was more nervous about the surgery because he's never had any type of surgery in his career / his life to this magnitude. So let's get into that now. So what type of surgery do you think doctors performed on him to correct it?
They reattach the tendon. So they'll sew the ends of the tendon together. Sometimes they'll put a pin in it to hold it in place until it heals and then take the pin out. Mm-hmm. That's the most likely surgery that he's having. I think probably the scariest part for him is what type of anesthesia they do. Mm-hmm. So for this, they can do something used to be called a beer block, where you kind of take a tourniquet or a blood pressure cuff, inflate it up, inject lidocaine down below it, and the whole hand goes numb. Oh, I mean, you can't feel it, and then they don't have to be asleep, or they can give them a mild sedative that just kind of makes them sleepy to do the procedure. Mm-hmm. The other type of anesthesia is called general anesthesia, and that's where they knock you out. They have to put a breathing tube down for you and put you on a ventilator. Now, that would be, although it's extremely safe, I think it's a lot scarier for people to put on a ventilator. Yeah. So they'll do it one of the two ways. Probably for a finger, they can just do it under the local. Mm-hmm. They'll put a curtain up so he doesn't have to see it. Yeah. And then put that lidocaine in, it'll be numb, and they'll do the surgery and then take the blood pressure cuff off, and they'll be able to move it in a few hours.
Yeah, I know when I get injections, even when they're tiny injections, I can't even look. I'll take it, but I'm like this. Yeah, just do what you got to do. I don't let me know. I don't want to see. Plus, I can only imagine what that procedure looks like. Now, how big of an incision do they have to go? Is it a 1 inch, 2 inch? How deep do they go in to fix it?
Very, very minor. Maybe a stitch. They can do it with very, very little opening up of the skin. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, he'll have one stitch, maybe two, not a big incision, and they go in and sew those tendons together. Yeah, exactly. You talk about the anesthesia. I don't know if you saw this. It's been kind of floating around social media. There's a video of a doctor putting his patient under anesthesia, and the patient is trying to beat anesthesia, like the anesthesia that's going in. So she's singing a Spice Girls song to say, like, I can beat it. I don't look how fat. It's not going to affect me at all, So she's there singing a Spice Girls song, and within, you can literally count down 10, 9, 8, 7, out like a light in that quick. Now, it was the one where like they hook up an IV and then it looked like a white liquid,
Look like
propofol.
Yeah, it looked like mayonnaise. That's what it looked like. And is going in and I'm man, the golf. Am I gonna beat this? And boom, out like a light in 10 seconds. So that stuff works, doesn't it?
It is. It's called propofol. We call it the milk of amnesia.
Yeah.
And it's the drug everybody knows of as the Michael Jackson drug.
Oh, yes.
Send them to sleep. But that's what we use in the ER all the time for things like shoulder dislocations. To put people out just for a little while, put it back in. They wake back up usually in 30, 45 minutes. Back to normal. So it's quick on, quick off.
Yeah.
But we tell people all the time, if you have any secrets, don't have your family members in the room. People start saying all kinds of wild things, letting all kinds of information out, telling you how much they love you. That's people get really wild, and that it happens so quick. I haven't seen that video, but I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, I'll send it to you soon. We're talking with Dr. Ryan McCorkle. He's back, everybody, for another visit here at Locked On Spurs, discussing the injury, or should I say the surgery, to De'Aaron Fox's finger as they repair it. Hey, we're not done talking, though. When we get back, we're going to continue our chat about Fox and the injury, now the recovery road for him. What does that entail? And also, what's up with Charles Bassey? Seriously, he's been on the IR list for how long? We're going to get into that and more with Dr. Ryan McCorkle. Make sure to follow him on Instagram at AustinEMDoc. You want to do that right now. But before we do that, hey, I want to talk to you about Robinhood.
With Robinhood Gold, you don't need a silver spoon to eat up the financial favors of the 1%. Robinhood Gold allows others to get the rates and perks usually reserved for the high society. Now the resourceful individual with Robinhood Gold can earn the very liberal rate of 4.25% APY on uninvested cash and be rewarded with a handsome 3% retirement boost on IRA account contributions. Robinhood Gold provides the privileges of a high net worth for any net worth. These generous benefits are now available for only $5 a month. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. Sign up today at robinhood.com/gold. Terms apply. For product-specific disclosures, visit robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. Rate may change. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold, LLC.
There's nothing like watching basketball live. The energy of the crowd, the sound of sneakers on the hardwood, and maybe even a celebrity signing courtside. If you want to catch a game in person, Game Time makes tickets getting them easier than ever. Game Time's new feature, Game Time Picks, filters out the fluff and shows you only the best deals on great seats. You don't have to waste time scrolling through thousands of tickets. You got easy ticket shopping. You just check it on the Game Time app. Check out the amazing deals on some huge matchups coming up. Super deals. Game Time Picks even highlight super deals, giving you the best bang for your buck. Peace of mind. View seats before you buy. No surprise fees. The lowest price guarantee. You can book with total confidence. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time.
A Jedi uses the Force. To subscribe to Locked On Spurs, pass on what you have learned.
And we're back right here on Locked On Spurs with Dr. Ryan McCorkle. He's back, everybody, for another visit right here to talk to all of us about the medical side of the Spurs, sports, the NBA, general, even giving you life tips right here to have a healthy life. Make sure to follow him on Instagram at AustinEM. You want to do that right now. He helps out Austin FC, concert venues. Seriously, he does it all for Austin. So we are just very appreciative of him taking time out to discuss the medical side of things. Now, Doctor, you talked about the surgery. You talked about what exactly is going on with De'Aaron Fox's finger. Now, the recovery road. What should Fox expect now moving forward?
That pen will probably be in there for a couple of weeks. Then it'll come out, and then it's just range of motion exercises. So, I've had surgery on my hand, plates and pins. When the pins come out, they start you on these little range of motion exercises where you do your fingers and work your way through until you can get that flexion extension back, and you just sit there and do that for hours on end. And then they'll have all sorts of different exercises to get his full range of motion and his dexterity back in that finger. Mm-hmm. Usually they say it can take up to 6 months to be completely back to normal.
Wow.
Another reason probably to do it now and make sure that he's fully ready to go by the beginning of next season.
So I'm assuming it's a lot of grip things, like gripping a ball, maybe a tennis ball,
Yeah.
And-
No, we slowly. It'll start just there, just getting the range of motion. Then it'll go to things like grip, and that'll be over the course of several weeks.
Wow. So we're retail. What is usually the first step though, once he's able to get to recovery? Is it just simple? Can he do it himself? Grab the finger and just move it back and forth and back and forth?
Well, they're going to want him to do it under his own power. So they'll wait till that pin comes out, because that pin's going to hold it completely straight. When the pin is taken out, then it'll be flexing, extending, and just doing that as much as you can. Now that'll take several days. Then probably a week or two in, they can start doing more with resistance, get those extensor muscles back, strengthen things like grip, and then work their way up to tennis ball, basketball.
Gotcha. Yeah. Other question I have to ask, and it may be related to the first segment, but ask it here again. He could have played out the rest of the season, as you mentioned, and we all saw. He wasn't in the immense pains. He was doing post conferences chats. He wasn't ripping his hand and playing. It was fine. So he technically could have finished out the season and then had the surgery. But I was going to ask you, an injury like that, can it get worse? Once it's torn, it's torn. That's it. Is it a situation where also too it could have gotten worse?
No, it's torn. It looks like it's a complete tear.
Okay.
Tape it to that other finger. He could play just fine with it.
Okay.
I think Bernard King played through, most of his career with fingers kicked together for various tendon and bone injuries. He could have played, but again, like we talked about, at this point in the season, what's the point?
Yeah.
We'd rather not have him keep us in games that could get us closer into to the top of the lottery.
I hear you.
Because it takes 6 months to heal, it's better to just do it now and have them be full strength by then. Could you have waited till the end of the season? Yes, but then he probably still would be not back to 100% by training camp in the beginning of next season.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, with the Wemby going through what he's going through, and then now Fox, you figure like, hey, it'd be better for them to have as close to a full offseason as they can get, but more importantly, that training camp preseason games, because that's where they'll really start to gel together. And you saw a glimpse of what it could be. These two guys together, Wemby and Fox, great combo, potent offensive weapons. They call him Swipe of the Fox for a reason. He's pretty good on defense, getting those steals. And of course, Wemby, well, if he didn't get injured, he was going to be the defensive player of the year. So can't wait to see these two guys in action. What do you think about these two guys once they get going?
Oh, it's going to be incredible. I think we talked about before that he's perfect being left-handed and being able to roll to Wemby's dominant side. And he's so good in the pick and roll. He's so good as an offensive weapon in and of himself, creating his own shot. Then you have them together, and then you add, Charles Bassey and the rest of our starting five having that off-season together with De'Aaron Fox's hand back to 100%. Then you get the chemistry that we need and be ready to go by the beginning of next season, instead of, having piecemeal coming back in to work that out during the season.
Yeah. All right. Well, good to hear. Good news from you, Doctor, as far as what you believe Fox will be going through. It looks like all smooth sailing. Yeah. Again, by now, everybody here already had the surgery. I think he's already on social media putting out stuff. So he's out, at least on the surface, he looks fine. So we'll see him. By the way, Doctor, are you shocked, though, that I actually had a nerd conversation with him before surgery? Nobody should be shocked, though. Nobody.
That's what I expect. That's the kind of dress.
Yeah, I was there. Again, this was the day before. Well, I think like an hour before they announced it. And by the way, pretty slick on the Spurs. So he was there in an event, and it was a gaming event that the Spurs were hosting for local San Antonio gaming fans. Your Fortnite, your video games. So I'm there, and all season long, Doctor, I was trying to figure out how am I going to talk to him about nerd stuff. Not because I am a nerd, but he's also a one too. He's a big gamer, and he loves anime, the whole genre of anime. So every time, I know there are other media members there, Doctor, with me, and I kept talking to him, how am I going to do this? How am I going to go from, well, you lost to Dallas, De'Aaron, but what do you think about that anime, Demas? I couldn't figure out a transition. So when I saw he was doing this event, I said, I got to go. And I was like, I can get away with it. So I had my conversation with him, and then I get to my car. Now, mind you, about an hour passed since that conversation, and I see them kind of taking him off the event. His time is done. The moment he goes into the Victory Capital Center, you almost count it down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Announcement comes out. So they were stuck about getting him out of the way of the media right before the announcement came out. So wow, that was fun. Yeah, they got him out of there fast. But hey, we're not done talking with Dr. Ryan McCorkle. When we get back, we're going to ask what in the world is going on with Charles Bassey. He's been on the IR for quite some time. We're going to break it all down with Dr. Ryan McCorkle. I have time permitting his thoughts on Wemby now that he's full into the thrombosis phase of getting it done and all that stuff. And Doctor, he's also kind of traveling with the team. So we're going to talk about that and more with Dr. Ryan McCorkle. Follow him on X at AustinEMDoc. But first, I want to talk to you about Upwork. Scaling your business requires the right expertise at the right time. With Upwork, you can find specialized freelancers in marketing, development, design, and more, experts ready to help you take your business to the next level. Upwork gives businesses flexibility by connecting them with top freelance talent across multiple industries, including IT, AI, web development, and marketing. Whether you need extra hands for a project or a long-term partner, Upwork makes hiring simple and affordable. Find the right talent. If you need help with a marketing campaign, Upwork can connect you with a freelance expert who delivers incredible results. Fast and easy hiring. Post a job is free and simple. And within a day, you get multiple qualified candidates to choose from. You get cost-effective growth instead of hiring full-time. Upwork helps find affordable, top-tier freelancers to scale your business efficiently. Visit Upwork.com right now to post your job for free. That's UPWORK.com. Upwork.com to connect with top talent and grow your business today.
The NCAA tournament is here, and so is the Bracket Breakdown. Locked On Podcast Network and Amazon Fire TV channels are teaming up to deliver NCAA tournament coverage like never before. Watch studio shows featuring former players and Locked On's local experts as they guide you through every upset, buzzer beater, and bracket matchup. Stream it all for free on Amazon Fire TV channel. Search Bracket Breakdown to see it all for free. It's your team every day.
All systems have been alerted to your presence. You must subscribe to Locked On Spurs immediately.
And we're back right here on Locked On Spurs with Dr. Ryan McCorkle. He's making another visit here on Locked On Spurs, catching you guys up and educating everybody in the world of sports medicine, sports injuries. In this case, Darren Fox and now Charles Bassey. Dr. Charles Bassey, I don't remember the last time he's played, but he's been on the IR for quite some time. And I'm going to read it here. According to the Spurs, he is out because he has left knee acute on chronic bone bruise. Doctor, in plain English, simple terms, what does that mean?
I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory there with bone bruise. So you have blood vessels kind of on the surface of the bone called the periosteum, and you'll have some blood accumulated in there like a bruise, a hematoma. It's not dangerous. The structure of the bone is fine, but it is super painful. And when it's on a surface that you tend to hit over and over, and when it's on a knee, how many times a game do you see players go to the floor, get right back up? But every time his knee hits that hardwood, it's going to be excruciating. And again, I feel like we've had this conversation towards the end of a lot of seasons for way worse reasons, but it's the same. What is the upside of bringing him back and having him hit in and again? And why not set him out until it's 100% healed? We're not trying to win more games than necessary. And so you let that whole bone bruise heal so that by the beginning of next season, whenever he falls on that knee, he's not hitting that same hematoma over and over, being in excruciating pain.
Yeah. When I read the IR reports, I'm thinking, okay, it's a bruise. I get bruises all the time. What's the problem, Bassey? You're a pro athlete. Get out there. But you're right. It's just the painfulness, the pain level must be intense if he does hit it there. And also, too, just concerned because here's a guy that just needs to be snake bitten when it comes to injuries. A few years ago, remember, he was playing great. The Spurs awarded him that contract, and then the kneecap thing happened. He comes back, he gets injured again, he comes back, and now this. And I'm just wondering just what exactly is he going through. But hopefully the Spurs and Bassey will especially Bassey, make a full recovery in time for next season. So there you have it. That's why Bassey's been out for quite some time. Doctor, before I let you go, Wembanyama he's already well into the deep vein thrombosis therapy. Blood thinners is it's been ongoing. But interesting though, he's been on flights with Spurs 2 road games. He's been on the bench at home games, and recently he was spotted at the facility during practice session on a bike. I thought you couldn't do stuff like that, put yourself in risk of getting hurt and bleeding. And then, we got more problems now. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, all that's non-contact stuff. I think what we're talking about where the risks are is catching an elbow to the head, a fall, hitting your head on the hardwood. When you're on anticoagulation, those are the things that are dangerous. Mm-hmm. To be honest, he could come back and play now. He's completely anticoagulated by this point. Often you'll start with a little injection under the skin of your stomach called Lovenox for the first 24 hours, and then bridge over something like Eliquis, an oral blood thinner that you just take once a day. Mm-hmm. That's most likely what he's on now, but that would have been way back when this first started. Mm-hmm. The only other thing that could be contributing is if they did decide to go in and shave down that collarbone that was pressing on that subclavian vein where the thrombosis was. That may take some more time, and you don't want to take any contact to that area because the bone will be weaker for a little while as it heals. They had to shave that down. But his blood is thinned. He'll be ready to go by the beginning of next season. Again, I think we've said this now about De'Aaron, about Charles Bassey, now about Wemby. The thing is, what is the upside to bringing him back?
Yeah. At this point, there's nothing. I mean, the only thing that Spurs fans are really watching is just the Rookie of the Year race. I mean, that's it, Doctor. That's it. There's really not much. And Keldon is Keldon by this time. Vassell is Vassell. I mean, maybe Vassell is a storyline to see how he'll handle being the guy for a while. But outside of that, I get why maybe Mitch Johnson said, it feels like a long season right now. Spurs fans, the Spurs fans, Doctor, most of them are already checked out. Some are like, okay, when does next season begin? Because, I mean, I get it, Doctor. The play-in technically, mathematically is still there, but they're probably not going to happen. Playoffs, forget about it. It ain't going to happen. But you're right, and I think that's the prudent thing to do is for Fox, get the surgery done now, which you did. Get your road to recovery. Wemby, make sure that whatever you got, that thrombosis thing gets taken care of, and Bassey, get back and feeling better. So there you have it. Doctor, as always, we appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to come here on Locked On Spurs. Talk to us about what's going on in Austin for you. I know you work with Austin FC, UT, and of course, Emergency and Backstage Medical. What's going on?
We're already ramped up into the season, have our third Austin FC match is coming up this Saturday. So we have the doctor staffing those games. So I'm overseeing that, making sure everybody in the crowd is taken care of at Austin FC soccer matches. We're already looking forward to the next UT season and getting all that ready for the SEC, and especially that big A&M game we're going to host here. So getting doctors, paramedics, and nurses all staffed up to take care of the crowd, that's going to be huge. Probably break a record, pushing 107,000 people. And then, of course, last week was South by Southwest here in Austin. Took care of several musicians with our Backstage Medical business, doing some IVs, some B12, some steroids, getting them feeling good so they could go out and do, what can be really a marathon in South by. A lot of these people played 6, 8, 10 shows over the course of a week. So it's a busy time here with South by Southwest as well.
Doctor, I'm actually scheduled to do one of those IV drips soon, so I want to try one of those out. I hear they have these companies, these I think there's one in San Antonio called Drip Therapy. I want to try it out. I heard a lot of good things about it.
That's what we do. We do that research. I have the IV fluids, and we load up the bags with various vitamins or whatever medications might be required, and start the IV and drip it in for them. That's our business.
Yeah, I like how it's like a menu, like at McDonald's. When you go to these businesses, it's like, oh yeah, here's our menu. Pick one. Now go into the room and get ready to sit there for about 30, 40 minutes while you get drip. But doctor is always...
That's food. So this is like having the chef prepare the menu. You tell me for me, and I will prepare the Mercase menu for you on what you need that'll make you feel better.
That's exactly what it's like. Yeah, it's like, what do you want? Yeah, you custom make your bags and everything. It's like a whole new world that I'm learning about when it comes to that therapy. But Doctor, as always, again, we appreciate you coming in here to educate Spurs fans, Locked On Spurs viewers and listeners about what is going on the medical side with the San Antonio Spurs and more. Make sure to follow Dr. Ryan McCorkle on Instagram at AustinEMDoc. Also, it's okay. Give him a pass for wearing green Celtics on St. Patrick's Day. It's okay. I gave him a pass. All right. It's okay, Doctor. You get away with this one.
Doesn't get any more Irish than Ryan McCorkle.
Exactly. And then you got McCorkle, then you were in the green. So when I saw it, I'm like, okay, you get a pass.
Just for one day.
Just this one day. But definitely, we love that you represent the Spurs and you wear that silver and black literally wherever he goes. Like overseas, I saw you in what was that? Like a T-shirt or okay, maybe you had something tied around your waist. Is it Spurs on it?
Yeah, I've got these great pants with the Fiesta colors, and it's kind of pink. I was wearing those in Kyoto, Japan. Yeah, it's some of the shrines with my kids.
Yeah, that was cool.
Spurs in Japan.
See, he reps the silver and black everywhere he goes. All right, Doctor, again, we appreciate you, and we'll talk to you soon. Hopefully it's good news, with Fox coming out of it and everything. We'll discuss all that once we get to that bridge. Everybody, once again, he is Dr. Ryan McCorkle. Again, follow him on Instagram at AustinEMDoc. We'll be back tomorrow talking all things silver and black as the Spurs season continues. Don't forget to subscribe to Locked On Spurs. It's where we get your favorite podcast, iTunes, Spotify, Ken Spy Plus app, Locked On Spurs newsletter in the description below on YouTube. Click on that link. Get it right now. It's completely free. Hits your email inbox every single day. So for Dr. Ryan McCorkle, I am Jeff Garcia. We're going to put a lock in this episode of Locked On Spurs.